Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into podcast Room 303. Introducing one co-host with more nuggets than Chick-fil-A, Nick Morahan. Executive producer until we find someone better, Eric Washington. Nobody really knows what he does around here, Nevada Putnam. And now, the single greatest thing to happen to hosting in history, Jermaine Antonio Colon Mendez. On with the show. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to podcast Room 303, episode 267. I'm your host, Jermaine Colon Mendez. This is my co-host, Nicholas Morahan. And as always, we have with us the EPE in Nevada Putnam. Today's episode, we'll be getting into the Knicks Time Suck Parlay for August. We've got a spicy submission cooked up for you. And we'll get into a blind five courtesy of Nevada and Eric. And then we'll get into an NFL divisional breakdown, NFC West. Without further ado, how are you doing this evening, Nick?
I'm good, man. Everything in your intro sounded like it was a question. You're like, I'm here.
I kept tripping up on my words, and I was like, okay, just keep going. Don't say Don't say
Who put a question on the teleprompter?
You know he'll read what you put on there.
Reads what you put up there.
Shout out Joe Biden. How you doing this evening, Nevada?
I'm good. The White Sox might break their losing streak. Top 6 right now, up by 1. We'll see what happens. I kind of hope they don't, but
I was going to bet them today. Yesterday, I was going to bet them yesterday, but they had a pitcher who had never pitched in Major League Baseball before. And I was just like, can't do it. Can't bet a 20-loss team with a guy who's never been in a majors before. Oh, statistically, they're due.
What's the line at right now for a loss?
Oh, jeez.
If Nick bets him, then
did you guys see the stat today about Scotty Scheffler's odds entering the final day for the Olympic tournament?
He was like plus 1,000.
No, entering the day, he was plus 6,000.
6,000. Okay.
Jeez.
At I think it was hole 14, he was still down 4 strokes. He was at plus 3,000. And he ended it obviously winning, but yeah, 6,000 to enter the final day.
Have you guys seen they do like for the golfers, they did like hey, my name is Scotty, I'm here, what country are you from? What Olympics is this? Like, why are you here? And every other golfer put, to win gold, to win gold, to win gold. Scotty Scheffler said to have fun and make friends.
Oh, man.
White Sox are currently plus 170 to win. How you doing this evening, Eric?
Doing good. Watching JT Realmuto swing at balls that are 6 feet out of the strike zone, but it is what it is.
Oh, that's right. The Phillies suck. They're awful.
Trash, dude. Worst team in baseball.
What are you guys getting? The first overall?
Playoff seed, probably.
Happening. He's morphing.
I always forget, like every year I have this internal monologue of like, why don't teams trade picks to acquire talent in the MLB? And then I remember, oh yeah, it's not allowed. But apparently there's discussions in the back, behind the scenes amongst the PA and, the MLB to allow pick trading as early as 2027. So that'd be pretty fascinating.
It would be interesting.
I think, because it was already a pretty active trade deadline right now, and we saw big pieces not even move. I think we'd see more deals if teams started trading picks.
That's what the farm system's for, though, right? Trade young talent.
Essentially, it functions the same way, but you can get a deal done trading for a first-round pick better than you can. Hey, do you want our double-A third baseman?
Yeah, because they have to scouted that player that you're trying to offer them and be like, oh, that's a player we like for our system.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's get into the Time Suck Parlay. So, Nick, 78 minutes for the month of July. And
Not
we're
bad.
actually not as bad as one would think. One whole podcast episode of being late. So, the bet is 3 legs. We'll go from best odds for that bet to hit to worst odds. And we'll go U.S. men's basketball to win minus 600. Don't ask me why that's in the parlay.
Well, hold on. If because it is my money going into this bet, can I make one rule?
Now, yeah, but it's too late.
No, I'm not on the parlay. On saying who does the parlay, own up.
Oh, it was me.
Yeah, so own up to your own pick.
I'm not.
Know who loses.
I'm not hiding. Minus 600 U.S. men's national team to win gold men's basketball.
For the 10s and 10s out there, 70. This bet will pay a lot of money at the end. Remember, minus 600. Remember the people that had courage. Back to you, Jermaine.
It's fine.
What was Amon and Helvig's odds, Nevada? Do you know that off the top?
Plus 125.
Plus 125. So the very next bet was Swedish men's beach volleyball team to win, right? Gold, correct, Nevada?
Correct.
So that's D, Amon, and J Helvig for Sweden. And then I took France to win and both teams to score in the men's gold medal match on Friday. And it's brutal because they wouldn't allow me to get it for extra time. So hopefully it wins in regular time, boys. But that was plus 340. So the wager amount was $78, as noted earlier, and the total payout is $1,003.27 for odds of plus 1186. We'll let you know the status of that on next week's episode. Let's go ahead and get into the blind five, Nevada.
Alrighty. 1 through 5.
Eric,
1.
pick a number.
Oh,
Never mind. Nick said 1. What? That's not the middle. You always pick the middle.
no. He expects us to pick the middle. We've got him rattled now.
Look at him. He doesn't even know where that is on his paper.
Bring in the reliever.
Okay. All right. So your first entry is going to be the Aviator.
With Leo?
Correct. That's the
Okay.
movie.
I don't think I've seen that one, Nick.
Yeah,
5?
the Howard Hughes biopic.
Howard Hughes? Is that who it's on?
Yeah, came out in like 2008, 6.
What's it about?
Howard Hughes,
Obviously, I don't know who that is. What?
an aviation legend.
Yeah, he's basically the dude that founded the modern American aviation industry.
Okay.
He basically was like he's a super genius, but turned out to be like super weird later in life. Like locked himself in like a movie theater and like was pissing in milk jugs.
Yeah.
Like wouldn't cut his hair, wouldn't cut his toenails.
Like
Survived
OC
like 3 plane crashes.
OCD paranoia kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that's when they sealed airplanes to keep air in, right?
Yeah.
Afterwards, because he went crazy.
And they were like, oh, he's a bit weird. Yeah.
I don't know, 5.
Oh, that Howard, he's in his room again. He's a bit weird. Yeah, 4. I'm good with 4.
4. All right. Next up will be Catch Me If You Can.
Oh.
With Tom Hanks, right?
Yeah. And Leo again. I'd say 2.
2? No, that's too high. That movie's not that good.
You thinking 3 or are you thinking 5?
It's better than The Aviator because I haven't seen The Aviator.
3. I'll take 3.
3. All right. Next up will be The Social Network.
Oh, 5.
That's not a Leonardo DiCaprio movie, is it? Who produced these movies?
Movies about real life people. Biopics.
Oh, biopics is a good one. I think you're onto something there.
5. I hate that movie.
Dude, what?
I hate that movie.
That movie's good. You're tripping.
Okay. Where do you want to put it? 2?
You already said 5. It's been typed in.
Okay. Next up will be Imitation Game.
It's biopics.
Imitation Game is the one where he cracks the code for the German Nazi U-boats, correct?
Where Bradley
Correct.
Cooper plays the gay.
Bradley Cooper. Oh yeah, I forgot.
Or not Bradley Cooper.
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah, I was like, Bradley wasn't in that. Yeah, Doctor Strange.
Bender over Cumbersnatch. Yeah. Fuck.
That's a good movie, but I'm going 2. Hopefully, he gives us a better one. I don't think it's that good.
Shouldn't have put it at 5.
Shouldn't have what?
Put the last one at 5.
All right. And number 1, you got Napoleon.
Oh,
All right. I mean, it's
that
definitely
movie
biopics.
sucks.
That movie is long. That movie is just
awful.
The movie is just Joaquin Phoenix being a simp for 3 hours.
I think this list would have been perfect if you just flipped it.
Probably. It's a bad list. Biopics, though. Did we get biopics?
Correct.
Suck it, nerds.
I think the Imitation Game is probably the best movie on that. And then the Social Network.
I'm with you, Jermaine, on that one.
And
So yes,
Napoleon is the clear-cut number 5, and I tried to avoid putting the Social Network at 5, but Nick is not a team player. So this Howard Hughes guy, did he help found Boeing?
No.
After the announcement of the Boeing 777?
No, he was like some what would today be a billionaire, and he was designing his own planes, and
TWA.
they just kept get more and more ridiculous. He was trying to create, at least in the movie. God, how big was that plane, Nick? It was like 10 engines or something.
Yeah, the Spruce Goose.
Yeah.
Is that
the Monty Burns Spruce Goose?
The DC-10, the Spruce Goose.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I don't know if that was the Spruce Goose, but he invented some massive fucking plane that could only take off from the water because there wasn't a runway big enough.
Well, that's not helpful.
Yeah, so
If you want a little background on him, he was a movie producer, a real estate mogul.
I'm on the wiki. Yeah. What else did he do?
Aviation and aerospace, genius. A bunch of different planes that he built. He's involved with Lockheed Aircraft Corporation somehow.
Maybe it was the Spruce Goose.
Flew around the world. A lot of his planes crashed and killed a bunch of people. Like a lot of his planes. They even name each plane, like the Hercules, H-4 Hercules, the XF-11, the Hughes XF-11, like all these fucking things died. Plane crashed and killed a bunch of people.
He was doing Boeing stuff before it was cool.
Yeah, he almost died in a plane crash that like crashed into a Hollywood neighborhood.
So his plane that he made with Lockheed, called the Lockheed Constellation, helped pioneer nonstop transcontinental service in the 40s and 50s.
Yeah, he's a genius. But like all geniuses, he pisses in milk jugs.
Yeah, he's a visionary.
Dude,
Sure.
they're all crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're all crazy at the cost of success. It's crazy.
So,
His,
five
ahead.
biopics. At number 1, you got Napoleon. Ugh. Number 2, Imitation Game. Number 3, Catch Me If You Can. Number 4, The Aviator. And numero 5, Social Network.
Yeah. I didn't really like Catch Me If You Can. It was a cool premise. I just don't like Tom Hanks. Is what it is. I just don't like that guy. All right, let's get into the Let's get into the NFC West.
NFC West.
Absolute barn burner of this division.
Yeah.
This one is going to be fascinating. I don't imagine we're all going to be the same on this. Eric, first, before we get into it, how do you have this division finishing?
How do I have the division finishing?
Yeah, give us your picks.
Let me pull it up here.
Should have done that last time.
Division winner San Francisco, and then the 2 teams that make the playoffs will be San Francisco and LA. And then the exact order is San Francisco, the Rams, Arizona, and Seattle at plus 550.
All right.
Plus 550. Man, it is hard to bet against San Francisco. So let's get into this here. So San Francisco finished first in the division at 12-5 last year. Some of their departures were Ben Barch and Tashawn Gibson are both still free agents. Sam Darnold joined the Vikings. Ray McLeod joined the Falcons, as well as Ross Dwelly. Cleveland Farrell joined the Commanders. Randy Gregory joined the Bucks. Chase Young joined the Saints. Eric Armstead joined the Jaguars. Sebastian Joseph joined the Titans. Javon Kinlaw and Isaiah Oliver both joined the Jets. And then Oren Burks joined the Eagles. Additions. Let's see. They re-signed quarterback Brandon Allen, wide receiver Chris Conley, lineman John Feliciano. Shout out Puerto Rico. And George Odom, safety special teamers. They added Joshua Dobbs on a 1-year deal. They signed Christian McCaffrey to a 2-year, $38 million extension. Signed tight end Logan Thomas, tackles Chris Hubbard and Colton McKivitz. Joined the team. Edge Leonard Floyd and Yetur Gross-Matos both joined on 2-year deals. D tackles Malik Collins was acquired in a trade from the Texans, and Jordan Elliott signed a 2-year contract. Kevin Givens signed a 1-year deal. Linebackers Devondre Campbell and cornerbacks Rock Ya-Sin and Isaac Adam all joined the team. Give us the odds, Eric.
So San Francisco finished first last year, 12-5, plus 600 for the Super Bowl. They have the second best odds. To win the division, minus 195. To make the playoffs, minus 525. To miss the playoffs, plus 350. And their line is 11.5.
So San Francisco will open the season Monday Night Football at home against the New York Jets, where Aaron Rodgers' other ACL has a chance to do the most hilarious thing ever. Then they go on the road for 2 road games. I can't believe I just said that. At the Vikings, at the Los Angeles Rams. 2 home games, Pats, Cardinals. At Seattle, 2 home games, Kansas City and the Cowboys, a Week 9 bye week. At the Bucks, home against the Seahawks. At Green Bay, at Buffalo, home against the Bears and the Rams, At the Dolphins, home against the Lions, and at the Cardinals to end the year. Nevada, do you want to go first on this?
Sure. San Francisco, the Bay Area fog actually has a name. Would you guys like to guess what the fog's name is?
The name of the fog?
Apparently so.
Paris Hilton's queef.
Carl the Fog.
Carl the Fog.
Yeah.
Wow,
Carl with a K.
I thought way too hard about that.
I got San Francisco winning the division. I think I don't want to say a regression, but I don't think they're going to hit quite the lofty goals they had in the regular season that they did last year. So that 11.5 is a little bit too high for me. I think if it was at 10.5, that'd probably be a better line. So I'm going to go just under 11.5. Obviously, they still got CMC. Sounds like they're probably going to lose Ayuk here probably any day now, if not already has. So they're going to lose a weapon there, but that should open up some more opportunities for Debo. They got a tough schedule, especially in December. I mean, you got to go into Buffalo, then you have to play in Miami, and then you play home against Detroit. That's 3 out of your 5 games in December. Not to mention the week before your December games, you play in Green Bay. So I think they're going to have a rough go there for a little while. I still think they're going to be a damn fine team, but not. I think they'll slide just a little bit back from last year. So under, yes, playoffs, yes, division. I'm going to hold off on Super Bowl for now.
Okay. Nick?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that San Francisco really addressed anything in the offseason. I mean, I think Leonard Floyd, Gross Matos, and Jordan Elliott are good players. Losing Eric Armstead and Javon Kinlaw doesn't help. I think that's just kind of a swap for a swap. I don't know that their offensive line got better. I think that's really one thing that you need to make Christian McCaffrey succeed is a good offensive line. Watching him for a while in his former team, I know that was very important for Christian McCaffrey because when he doesn't have that, he gets hit a lot, and when he gets hit a lot, he gets injured. I think 12-5, I think was a decent line for the 49ers. I think they're under 11.5. I do think they make the playoffs. I don't think they win the division, and I don't think they win the Super Bowl.
That annoys me. I have San Francisco not winning the Super Bowl. I have them not winning the division. I have them making the playoffs, and I have them under. Brandon Ayuk's, depending on the trade, if they're able to get Amari Cooper back, I don't think it'll be as impactful. So I personally believe that they're hoping that he picks the Cleveland Browns for his trade destination. But if he ends up going with New England, because New England has already said that they're willing to make him a top 5 paid wide receiver, and they get Kendrick Bourne in return, that's a steep drop-off from such an efficient wide receiver. San Francisco already was, if not last, bottom 4 in the league in pass attempts last year. And losing a weapon like Brandon Ayuk is going to make the offense less efficient. So does that result in them throwing more passes? And does that result in Brock Purdy becoming more mistake prone? It is an odd dichotomy, which is why I don't think they win this division this year. The rest of their division all got better. Maybe except for the Rams, who lost Aaron Donald to retirement. Hopefully he comes back and just blows up this whole segment. But yeah, I don't see them winning the division. I have a dark horse team that I'm taking to win this division. And so if you guys don't have anything else on the 49ers, we'll go ahead and get into the Los Angeles Rams, who finished second last year. Their odds this year is they finished second at 10-7. Their odds to win the Super Bowl is plus 3,000. To win the division is plus 330. Even money to make the playoffs. And then their over-under is set for 8.5. Let's get into departures from the Los Angeles Rams. Excuse me. Bryson Hopkins, tight end. Linebacker Troy Reeder. Cornerback Akilo Witherspoon. And safety John Johnson and kicker Brett Maher are all still free agents. Quarterback Carson Wentz joined the Chiefs. Running back Royce Freeman joined the Cowboys. Ben Skowronek was traded to the Texans. Brian Allen joined the Bears. Coleman Shelton joined the Bears. Aaron Donald retired, as aforementioned. Jonah Williams joined the Vikings. And safety Jordan Fuller joined the Panthers. Additions, they signed Jimmy Garoppolo to a 1-year deal. Wide receiver Demarcus Robinson was re-signed. Guard Kevin Dotson was also re-signed. And that's all the re-signings. Colby Parkinson joined on a 3-year, $22.5 million deal. That was a shocking deal. Jonah Jackson signed a 3-year, $51 million deal for the guard role. Defensive tackle Laurel Murchison signed a 1-year deal. Linebacker Christian Roseboom signed with the Rams. Cornerback Tre'Davious White left Buffalo to join the Rams. And Darius Williams signed a 3-year, $22.5 million deal. Cameron Curl signed a 2-year, $13 million deal. Nick.
For the Rams schedule, geez, I just forgot where I was for a second. Pulled a full Sleepy Joe. My apologies.
You're in DC, that's why.
Oh, right. It's something in the water. It's turning the frogs gay, so Alex Jones says. Week 1, they go on the road to face the Lions, then on the road to face the Cardinals, home against the 49ers, on the road at Chicago, home against Green Bay, a week 6 bye week, so that eliminates them instantly from the Super Bowl, according to Eric. 2 home games, Raiders, and then Thursday Night Football against the Vikings, at Seattle, home against the Dolphins, at New England, home against the Eagles, at New Orleans, New Orleans. Geez. Home against Buffalo, 2 road games, Thursday night against the 49ers, and then at the New York Jets, Jets. And then to end the season, week 17 and 18, divisional games, home against the Cardinals and home against the Seahawks. Mr. Putnam, the floor is yours.
There are 2,700 stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. I don't know if any of you had the prices right under on that, but I did not think it was that many.
I didn't get a line.
2,100?
2,700.
How long is the Walk of Fame?
Too long.
It's starting to get like the Walk of Normal.
Yeah.
It's starting to be the Walk of Not Famous, really.
The Walk of Who Cares? Who's that guy?
As far as the Rams go, I have questions about their defense. Obviously, losing Aaron Donald is a massive loss. You can't replace him. At best, it's a replace by committee sort of situation. I'm not too familiar or thrilled with their offensive line outside of Havenstein and Jonah Jackson. Obviously, Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp, we'll see how much they play together. As we saw last year, Kupp was out for a fair amount, which allowed Puka to really pop off. Tyler Higbee's coming back from a knee injury. He's currently still on the PUP list, so we'll see how fast he can get up to speed. Granted, he was never really used a ton, at least I guess from a fantasy perspective, is always frustrating. I think their best.
That's all that matters.
Yeah, that's all that really matters. I think their biggest asset is going to come from the running back position. This has got to be the year that Kyron Williams pops off. I don't see how he's not going to be the number one. It'll be interesting to see who follows him up in the pecking order, but Kyron Williams should be the bell cow and just get handed everything he can possibly handle. So I don't have them for the Super Bowl. I don't have them for the division. I have them just over 8.5. Their schedule gets pretty brutal, as you heard, pretty much every other week towards the end of the year. It's one slobber knocker to another. So I think they'll get just over at a 9-8 clip. And I'll say no for playoffs.
I think weeks 12 through 16 is going to define what kind of team this is. Week 12, they have the Eagles at home, then Saints on the road, Buffalo at home, at the 49ers, at the Jets. If they can come out of that with going 2-3, I think it's a good season for the Rams. I have the Rams over 8.5. I don't think the Aaron Donald loss is big. I don't think it's going to impact them that much. I think they had a great draft. I think they filled all the holes that they needed to have. I agree with you with Williams, but also Blake Corum is a guy that can step in and kind of like that Darren Sproles, a gimmicky back role that we've seen a lot of teams have success with, and Darren Sproles make a multi-million-dollar career out of. I'm going over 8.5. I'm going yes to make the playoffs. I'm going yes to win the division. The Los Angeles Rams. And I've shocked Jermaine into silence.
No. I'm doing the spreadsheet as well, and I was like, why does it have San Francisco as a division winner? Okay, I got it right. So just to double check, you had Rams to win the division, yes to make the playoffs, over. And you didn't say anything about the Super Bowl, right?
No, I don't take them to win the Super Bowl. No.
Okay.
They have a prior to week 10 bye week.
Okay. And Nevada has no to win the Super Bowl, no to make the playoffs, and over. Correct?
Correct.
Awesome. Okay. Just want to make sure I got it right. I'll take the under for the Rams. No to make the playoffs. No to win the division. And no to make the Super Bowl. And the Rams overachieved last year, and Aaron Donald drew triple teams every single snap, and he's no longer there. The secondary is still a question mark for me. The offensive line is better, but not the best. And outside of Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp, I don't know where they're going to get the pass catching from. So I just have questions all around. I think they finish 8-9 at the end of the season, and that's why I'm taking under and not to make the playoffs. Next, we have the Seattle Seahawks, who are plus 6,500 for the Super Bowl, plus 700 to win the division, plus 180 to make the playoffs, minus 220 to miss the playoffs, and their win total is set at 7.5. Let's get into some of their departures here. Currently, Jason Peters, Phil Haynes, Nick Bellor, and safety Quandre Diggs are all still free agents. Quarterback Drew Lock joined the Giants. Running back DJ Dallas joined the Cardinals. Tight end Will Dissly joined the Chargers. Colby Parkinson joined the Rams. Jake Curhan joined the Bears. Damian Lewis joined the Panthers. Evan Brown joined the Cardinals. Mario Edwards joined the Texans. Jordan Brooks joined the Dolphins. Devin Bush joined the Browns. Bobby Wagner joined the Commanders. And safety Jamal Adams joined the Titans. Additions for this team. They traded for quarterback Sam Howell. They signed P.J. Walker to a free agent deal. They signed Laviska Shenault, tight end Farrah Brown, re-signed Noah Fant, signed George Fant, signed Laken Tomlinson, signed Nick Harris, re-signed Leonard Williams to a 3-year, $64.5 million contract. They signed defensive tackle Jonathan Hankins. They signed Jerome Baker, linebacker. They signed Terrell Dodson, linebacker. Re-signed Artie Burns, cornerback. Signed Kayvon Wallace and signed Rayshawn Jenkins. Nick.
So, Seattle Seahawks schedule. They open week 1 at home against the Broncos. Then they go to New England to play the Patriots. Miami, Monday Night Football they play Miami at home. At Detroit, then Giants, 49ers at home. Falcons in Atlanta. Bills and Rams at home, a week 10 bye week at the 49ers, home against the Cardinals, at Jets, at Cardinals, home against Green Bay and Minnesota, and then finishing off with Thursday Night Football in Chicago, and then final of the year at the Los Angeles Rams on Sunday night. Mr. Putnam.
Much like New York in the greatest cartoon ever, Futurama, Seattle is built on the ghost town of its former self after a fire. You can actually take tours of the underground of old Seattle.
Creepy.
That is creepy.
Yes. I don't see much change in the Seahawks from last year to this year. Maybe I haven't paid close enough attention that there is some sort of big change, but I just don't see it. They bring back a handful of guys. Having Leonard Williams in the middle on the line is nice to have him there. Obviously, got Weatherspoon on the back end, but other than that, there's nothing here that I see that moves the needle for me.
What about the coaching change?
Nah.
Okay.
Not yet.
Nah.
I'm sure they'll get a little bit of a bump, but I don't think it's going to be enough to move off of their 9-8 spot from last year. That to mix with, they got a pretty solid schedule here. Again, they got Dolphins, Lions back to back. Obviously, they got to play the Niners twice. They got to play Buffalo. They got to play the Jets in New York, and they got to play the Packers as well. I think it's a kind of an uphill slog with those teams. So I have them. I'll go just under 7.5. No for the playoffs, and then obviously no for the remaining playoff questions.
Yeah, I'll agree with you, Nevada, but I'll even go a step further and say I love this offense. I think it's an intriguing offense that I haven't heard people talking about with Trey McBride, Michael Wilson.
Nope. That's the Cardinals. We're talking about Seattle.
Oh Jesus, yeah, I'm right. No, Jesus, I'm already thinking ahead to Arizona. Save that for when we're talking about Arizona. I think you're right, dude. I haven't heard a lot out of Seattle. I think Leonard Williams was big. I don't think they lost that many players, and I don't think they gained that many players. So I'm going to say over 7.5. No to make the playoffs, and obviously no to win the division in the Super Bowl. But I think they finished 9-8 again, looking at their schedule.
Okay. I have Seattle finishing under. No to make the playoffs. No to the Super Bowl. No to win the division. Next team we have up is the – sorry. Little thought process on this. Pete Carroll has kept that team pretty consistent despite them always seeming to have a lack of talent at all three levels, right? At any given time, whether it was linebacker, whether it was secondary, O-line, their running back was always hurt. Still had that team competing, almost always had a 500 record.
He's a budget Mike Tomlin.
Was a damn good ball coach for that team. And after a 9-8 season, he was unceremoniously dumped by the Seattle Seahawks, and they moved to the Ravens defensive coordinator, Mike McDonald. I am not a fan of defensive head coaches. It just doesn't work in today's NFL, and I'll continue to fade them until proven otherwise. Not only that, coupled with their new hire at head coach, who's a defensive coordinator, they brought in offensive coordinator of the Washington Huskies. I'm not saying he was an invalid the years prior, but nobody talked about the Washington Huskies offense until he had Michael Penix, top 10 pick, Rome Odunze, top 10 pick. You see a trend? They had, I think, Talise Fuaga was a top 15 pick for that Washington Huskies team. There was tons of NFL talent on that team. Yeah. And that was the first time I'd ever been like, oh, this offensive coordinator is good. So I have question marks across the board. I'm fading a college offensive coordinator making the jump to an NFL offensive coordinator. I'm fading a first-time head coach in Mike McDonald. I believe he's a first-time head coach. I could be mistaken. And I'm fading a defensive head coach as well as Pete Carroll continuously had this team overperforming, especially with departures such as, Jason Peters is gone, Damian Lewis is gone, Evan Brown is gone. 3 big losses on their offensive line. Mario Edwards joined the Texans. Jordan Brooks, the linebacker. Devin Bush, Bobby Wagner. Basically, your entire linebacker crew is gone. And Jamal Adams and Quandre Diggs, their starting safety tandem, are both gone as well. I don't like anything Seattle did this offseason for them to be successful this year. Now, is it setting them up for the future? Absolutely. Do I think that they have a bright future, especially with DK Metcalf and Jackson Smith and Jigba and Kenneth Walker? Absolutely. But this year, I'm fading them. I'm going under. I believe they'll have a top 10 pick this year. And that brings us to the Arizona Cardinals as the last team in the division. They finished 4th at 4-13 last year. Kyler Murray missed half the season recovering from an ACL tear. Zach Ertz was their starting tight end to begin the season. Hollywood Brown missed basically the entire year with the heel injury. Their odds to win the Super Bowl is plus 10,000. To win the division is plus 1,300. To make the playoffs is plus 300. To win to miss the playoffs is minus 400, and over/under is set at 7.5. We'll go ahead and get into some additions and subtractions here. So some of the subtractions they had: wide receiver Marquise Brown joined the Chiefs. They traded Rondale Moore to the Falcons. They Jeff Swaim, tight end Jeff Swaim, O-lineman DJ Humphries, linebacker Josh Woods are all free agents. D lineman Lecky Fotu joined the Jets, and cornerback Antonio Hamilton joined the Falcons. Some of the additions that the Arizona Cardinals had. Let's see. Wrong list. They acquired Desmond Ridder in a trade for Rondale Moore. They signed running back DJ Dallas away from the Seattle Seahawks. They signed wide receiver Zay Jones to a 1-year deal. Chris Moore signed a 1-year deal. Offensive lineman Keith Ismail re-signed on a 1-year deal. Jonah Williams signed a 2-year, $30 million contract. Guard Tristan Colon re-signed on a 1-year, $1.75 billion contract. Guard Elijah Wilkinson re-signed. Evan Brown signed a 1-year deal. Just defensive tackle Justin Jones signed a 3-year, $30 million deal. Bilal Nichols signed a 3-year deal. Kyrese Tonga signed a 1-year deal. Linebackers Chris Barnes and Mac Wilson both joined the team. Quarterback Sean Murphy Bunting signed a 3-year, $25.5 million contract. Long snapper Aaron Brewer re-signed, and punter Blake Gillikin re-signed on a 2-year deal. Nick, you want to get us the schedule?
Yeah, so they open week 1 at the Buffalo Bills, then 3 home games: Rams, Lions, Commanders, 2 road games: 49ers, Packers, Chargers at home, at the Dolphins, 2 home games: Bears and Jets, with a week 11 bye week. Then they play 2 road games: Seahawks and Vikings, then Seahawks and Patriots at home, then Panthers, Rams on the road, and they finish week 18 at home against the San Francisco 49ers.
Nevada.
Yes. The London Bridge was it was deconstructed and moved to Arizona when they were creating Lake Havasu City, and then reconstructed in Lake Havasu City. If you can believe that.
No, I can't.
I mean, you look at their record from last year, 4-13. They're not going to be 4-13. I think they're going to be much better than that. They've got a obviously last place schedule, so it's pretty favorable, especially when you got the Panthers, the Patriots. Who was the other one? I think, the Manders are on here. So they got a good schedule to rack up some W's. They did a really good job addressing their offensive line, obviously drafting Paris Johnson in the first round. And then what are the other ones I had here? Will Hernandez from the Giants.
UTEP minor?
What's that?
UTEP minor, Will Hernandez?
The UTEP legend himself.
Yes, sir. That's fire.
Jonah Williams, to name a few. Evan Brown, like Jermaine mentioned. So I think they've done a good job with addressing their offensive line. Obviously, could still be improved, but I mean, you're coming from a 4-13 football team. Their offensive weapons leave a little bit to be desired as far as pass catchers outside of Marvin Harrison, who expect to do well. Zay Jones, Trey McBride continue to develop and flourish. I think they're definitely on the right track. I think that combined with their schedule that they have, I still have concerns overall on their defense. Not a lot of defensive playmakers, at least on paper. But with Gannon as the head coach, which, as Jermaine alluded to with the Seahawks, not a fan of defensive coordinators being head coaches, but maybe he could at least turn around that defense. They could desperately use it. I have them over 7.5, no for playoffs, and then obviously no for division and no for Super Bowl.
I'm going to take the exact opposite take that you just took, Nevada. I love their offensive weapons, especially with Kyler Murray coming back. James Conner, Michael Wilson is making a splash in training camp. Trey McBride, I like Greg Dortch coming out of the slot, or Zay Jones coming out of the slot. I love their weapons. My problem is that you have a defensive coach with a not very good defense and a great offense. I don't know that he's going to be able to link the two in Jonathan Gannon. We saw last year, of course, with the Kyler Murray injuries, maybe he didn't get it started. You know, he wasn't able to get it started I think this is going to be more or less the same Arizona Cardinals team. I'm going to take under 7.5. No to make the playoffs. No to win the division. And no to win the Super Bowl. Of course.
Oh, man. Here we go, boys. Here it is. I have the Arizona Cardinals winning the division.
God dang.
Woo! I have them over. Sorry, you said, damn, I messed it up. I'm filling out your side. So no to win the Super Bowl. No to make the playoffs.
Yep.
Over 7.5 or no?
Under
7.5. All right. So I have them division winner. I have them yes to make the playoffs, and I have the smashing the over. Kyler Murray is a very good quarterback that people seem to have forgotten about. Kyler Murray supports tier 1 wide receivers and slings the rock all over the field, as well as is wildly productive with the run game. James Conner is a very under the radar running back who always performs when healthy. Trey Benson is their backup rookie running back who should spell James Conner very, very well. They addressed their D-line in the offseason with the additions of Justin Jones, Bilal Nichols, Kyrie's Tonga, Chris Barnes re-signed. Then they went out and got linebacker Mac Wilson on a very team-friendly deal. They added Sean Murphy Bunting from the Buccaneers. They had 2 first-round picks this year. They took another D lineman out of Missouri, Darius Robinson, who had 8.5 sacks last season. In the second round, they addressed the secondary again, taking Max Melton out of Rutgers. Added another guard in the third round, added a tight end in the third round, added another corner in the third, added a safety in the fourth, a linebacker in the fifth. Christian Jones, they stopped his precipitous slip at tackle, the 3-year starter for the University of Texas Longhorns in the 5th round. He can essentially be a starter from day one there. I love everything that this team did. And the reason why I'm so high on the Arizona Cardinals is everyone knew they were going to suck last year, including the people lacing up the sneakers and putting the jersey on. They knew they had no shot. They traded for Josh Dobbs 2 days before the season started, and he was their starting quarterback week 1. And that defense, with the void of talent across the board, showed up and played game football week in and week out. That tells me that Jonathan Gannon is an absolute leader of men, and people will follow him into battle. Kyler Murray is looking fantastic in training camp. Marvin Harrison Jr. is so good in training camp that people are looking to him like he's the veteran wide receiver on the team, and he hasn't snapped a football in the NFL. Meanwhile, he doesn't have the same PR team that the New York Giants has. So Malik Neighbors is the absolute darling of this preseason. And Marvin Harrison is being talked about as already one of the best wide receivers, and wide receivers who are working with him are learning from him. He's a rookie. Like, he's a rookie. That's how good this team is going to be. I project a Kyler Murray MVP type season. Marvin Harrison will put up a fantastic rookie season. He's going to catch a lot of touchdowns for a rookie wide receiver. And this football team, every year we have teams that go from last to first who drafted in the top 10 of the NFL draft. And the Arizona Cardinals fit that bill perfectly. When Kyler Murray was on the field to end the season, the Arizona Cardinals were a very good football team. And now he is projected to play the whole season. So I've taken the Arizona Cardinals at plus 1,300 to win the division.
How much of your Marvin Harrison love is because he's on your dynasty team now?
No. Look, I'm not the only person who loves Marvin Harrison.
No, I love him too. You just spent a couple minutes on him. Like, it's like, all right. Like,
because everyone's talking about Malik. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but everyone's talking about Malik Neighbors. Like, yeah, he's going to be the best. He's going to get 150 targets. There's no one else to compete. And I'm like, who the fuck does Marvin Harrison have? And like, all right, objectively speaking, Kyler Murray or Daniel Jones,
Kyler.
James Conner or Devin Singletary. Nick, you're muted if you're talking.
Connor, when healthy.
Connor, when healthy. He's a fantastic running back when healthy. Now book him to miss the 4 games that he's going to miss.
4 to 8. He's missing 4 to 8.
Yeah, like book him to miss that. Trey McBride better than the ghost of Darren Waller and whoever else they're lining up at.
R.I.P. Show some respect to that man's name. Dead but never gone.
The pride of Fort Collins, Trey McBride.
Dead but never forgotten.
Is Trey McBride a CU buff?
You're goddamn right he is.
CSU.
No, not a buff.
Not a buff. Not a buff.
Gross.
Not a buff. CSU Rams?
Roomies.
They're getting waxed by Texas this year, right?
Just like what their opponents do. Ram it in.
Yeah, man. I was so excited to get to this division because I knew I was going to take Arizona to win it the whole time. And especially now that the Ayuk news, I was going to make this pick with Brandon Ayuk still on the roster, but Ayuk is basically traded right now.
Well, didn't CMC refer to him the other day as his former teammate?
I heard that, yeah, he had a Freudian slip as a former teammate. And that the 49ers have already agreed to deals with the Browns and the Patriots. And then the Steelers jumped back in. They said, we can't let the Browns or the Patriots. I'm sure they hate the Patriots too. They said they can't let them get it. I think it opens the door. I think it opens the door. Super Bowl hangover. Christian McCaffrey, I picked his unders this year. I'm not thrilled. I love Christian McCaffrey. I think he touches the ball too much last year, and I think he's going to get nicked up this year, and I have a bad feeling about that. So I'm kind of scared of Christian McCaffrey this year. And if Christian McCaffrey isn't there and Brandon Ayuk isn't there, Elijah Mitchell's hurt right now. CMC is hurt right now. First-round pick Ricky Pearsall is hurt right now. Like, they're already dealing with a rash of injuries. I think this is a very wide open division because we have respected the 49ers for so long. Now, the 49ers can shut me up. They're the favorite for a reason. But if I'm betting, I'm looking at plus 1,300 and all the awesome moves Arizona did. That's the bet I'm taking there.
It's a bet.
Yeah, it's totally fair.
We could be looking back at this and say, wow, Jermaine, you were right on it.
Or we could be looking back on it and be like, God, Jermaine, you're such a smooth.
Yeah. Or we could be looking back and go, wow, all the people that missed because of injuries, they missed because of injuries, and they didn't turn out to meet their full potential. You're betting on Arizona to hit their full potential.
Absolutely. I'm also betting at plus 1,300, and I'm betting over 7.5 and plus 300 to make the playoffs.
Yeah. Yeah. There's some pepperoni pizza money in there for sure.
Yeah. I'm high on the Cardinals this year. I really, really am. I just think Kyler Murray is much better. Like, Kyler Murray does run like a shithead. Like, don't hear what I'm not saying. I agree with people every time they say it, and I crack up because he really does run like that.
He runs like a kid that stole something he's not supposed to have.
I'm pretty sure Eric told me that the first time, and the first time I ever heard Eric told me that, I was laughing for like 3 minutes, dude.
It's so funny
because it's exactly that.
Yeah, I just want to see like a Mahomes and Murray 80-yard dash, scrambling around.
Oh, hey, Kyler, you want to run?
We're
going to run a 40-yard dash, Kyler.
We got to get Derek Carr in that race, dude.
Derek Carr, the ghost of?
Hey, that's my quarterback, dude.
Who does Derek Carr pay for? Oh, the Saints. That's right.
Hurtful. You guys got anything else for the 10s and 10s? Oh, wait. Hold up. Pause. Wait a minute. I need those.
Hold up.
Those division orders.
Oh, yeah. I'll go Rams, 49ers, Seahawks, and Cardinals.
Nevada?
I go Niners, Cardinals, Rams, Hawks.
Okay. Let me try to get those odds. NFL futures.
To Eric to bring his dumb ass back here.
He's on the phone.
No, I know he is. Oh, he's on the phone right now?
Yeah.
Oh, lame.
Actually, you know what? I forgot to look up for that spot on DraftKings, so I'll get those odds off the line.
Wait,
That wraps up the NFC West. Unless you guys got anything else for them.
Nothing pour moi.
Nobody wants to switch your division winner.
Nope.
Yeah,
I'll take the Arizona Cardinals.
Nobody wants to sprinkle a little pizza money with me.
No, I don't want you to lose. I want it to hit, and I don't want you to lose your bet. So I'm not going to bet it. I have been, by the way, before we conclude this show, Nevada and Jermaine, I have been cursed. Somebody cursed me. I bet the U.S. women's team to win today in regular time. In the history of Olympic women's soccer, there has been one game to be scoreless at full time. There have now been 2 games. This is otherworldly how bad this is. Who put a curse on me? Fess up. Which one of you two did it? Eric can also be included in catching these hands. Who put the curse on me?
I'm going to blame Nevada, dude.
I'm sick and tired and I want some money.
Well,
I'm blaming Nevada.
I don't know, because for like the first, what was that, probably 2 or 3 weeks, me and Nick were crushing like the Rockies' first inning yes run line. It was easy money, and then all of a sudden it stopped, and then he went cold. So I wonder if it's the Rockies.
It's the fucking. It always comes back, doesn't it? we're gonna have to sacrifice Todd Helton at Coors Field. That's the only way to get out of it.
Yo, Hall of Famer?
Yeah, Hall of Famer.
The Todd father?
We either have to get him or Larry Walker, and I don't think I'm getting Larry Walker into a car.
Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned.
Yeah, all you need to do to get Helton in a car is a 6-pack and a can.
Yeah, 30 rack and a little bit of tobacco.
All right, 10s and 10s. Thank you for joining our 2024 NFC West divisional breakdown. For myself, Jermaine Colon Mendez, for my co-host, Nicholas Morahan, for the producers, the EPE, and Nevada Putnam. We'll see you next time when you come on down and step into the room.